right, so finally, after how long, we finally got one of these in the mail. Came with new bolts, came with new gasket with an O-ring seal on it, which is kind of neat. So I'm gonna get this thrown on. This is gonna be the temporary solution until new parts come. They should be here Friday, but basically where this sits on the side of the turbo, gonna come out a 45, and then it's gonna shoot straight down into the pan, which we will have another 45. So I'll show you right there. So basically it'll go from here, 45, straight down into the pan. But until then, we're gonna hit right about there. We are moving, finally got this thing running. There is no oil leaks, which is absolutely insane considering the fact that what I've gone through with this truck. But I do have the fender flares off, so we are going to go get this thing washed and hopefully no more shit on the frame. We'll check the rear differential when we get there. Yeah, let's see how this thing sounds. Probably a good week and a half. Wow. I did leave myself some fuel. We got Liam back there. I don't know if you guys can see him with the camera angle, but I can move the camera, as you guys can see, any which direction I need to, which is awesome. So I also got a head strap I need to figure out how to use properly, but I am super excited to see this thing clean with a non-oily frame for the first time in a while. All right, so I can't really film out there because of the copyright music, but you know, whatever. I'm gonna get this thing washed. I'll show you guys, and afterwards you guys know what the frame looks like at this point anyway. It's got oil and crud all over it, so let's get this thing washed. I bought degreaser just for this. Well, unfortunately, it started leaking again. So, I got everything as clean as possible, as I think it's gonna be, and I guess we'll just wait till the parts come on Friday. And then we'll just drill the pan, and I'm wondering if the hard bend is what is causing it to leak like that. I don't know. I don't understand. I'll show you guys when I get home what's going on, but I'm not gonna let that stop me because I do have more parts to make this thing go a little faster, and not just faster but more usable. So I have a 10 plate instead of a 0 plate, and I'm gonna put that in the all the way slid forward position, which should bump the power up quite a bit, but it also should cut fueling at the top where I'm having fuel issues. So I do need to modify it before I put it in, and I'll show you guys exactly why. This thing makes a lot of grunt down low, and I want to keep that. But the 10 plate takes away fuel up top and takes away delivery down below. So I'll just show you guys when we get it in. Right, so while I am sitting outside in the lawn ornament, I ordered a bunch of, here's one piece I was actually gonna order for the turbo drain. I ordered another one of these in a 45. These are push lock style hoses or fittings and whatnot. I ordered a couple of them. I ordered a bung to go right into the oil pan, and I ordered an OEM style drain, actually an OEM one with a gasket with an O-ring, and wouldn't you know it, it still leaks because it comes down and makes a hard angle and then goes towards the front of the engine. So I'm gonna run that until Friday, and then when the new piece comes in to go into the oil pan, I'm gonna see if it is steel. We're just gonna drill the hole in the oil pan, weld around it, and then boom, permanent fix, never gonna have to deal with it again. It can run straight down, there's no restrictions, and it can basically just let gravity do its thing. With running it forward like that, I feel like there's enough oil in there backing up, and even if the drain itself doesn't leak, I feel like it's just gonna start going through the intake side and the exhaust side of the turbo, so we're just, it's a lose-lose regardless, so it is what it is. It's been a good, I put this engine setup together in December of 2019. So, you know, I really think that it is time now. We're just gonna end up doing it into the pan like I originally should have. So that'll be for Friday. Don't know if that's gonna be in this video, but I do have a number 10 fuel plate here. So as you guys saw before, I had a 0, which was straight down. And the problem with that is we do have EGT issues. Now, I'm gonna go pull the other one out. I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna compare the two, and we're gonna see. I want this one slid all the way forward, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet. We shall see, but there is gonna be a bunch of testing with this, and I also am going to be playing with a boost quite a bit, because I would like to get in between 35 and 38 pounds with this turbo. Even though before I was only doing about 32, I was recommended, let's try to see if we can't do 35 to 38. I will probably end up getting head studs for this motor eventually, but let's go pull the other one out, because the other one is definitely not good for towing applications. All right, something to take notice of. I think this is the cleanest that I have ever had this thing. I mean, we're still debating on what we're gonna do with these flares. I do not know yet if we are gonna pull these off and go with the mega cab style. I found 2 of them. They're about $400 for the pair, but for what it is, I don't know yet. You guys need to let me know. I am going to probably trim this up and then cut this flush, so that way, if in case I do decide to go that other route, this is about how far it'll stick anyway. So I cut those. We'll be getting new tires sometime after the next trip, because these are getting pretty low. I think these have about 35,000, almost 40,000 miles on them. I know I've done 33,000 this year, so I'd like to say they have about 38,000. They have probably one good trip and maybe half of another trip left in them. And also, guys, I didn't put the fender liners back in yet. You can see just how clean it is under here now. No oil except for on the drain. Got in there with some degreaser, cleaned off the side of the engine and everything, as well as up there. So, a lot cleaner in here than what it was. Not perfect yet, but it is a lot cleaner. Lines are holding together pretty good, no leaks there. I do see a little bit here, so I do want to mess with that a little bit. I didn't even notice that. There we go. Now it shouldn't be an issue. You guys can see that was rubbing right there. So good thing I checked that over. That could have been an issue. Aside from that, you guys can see down there is where it's at. Probably gonna have to pull the intake horn off. Don't know yet, hope not, but we shall see. Okay, so obviously you can see here, this is the stock one that I ground down to a 0. I think I did a pretty decent job back then. And then here is the 10 plate. So I'm trying to figure out if they were to get set side by side. You can see if I slid it the whole way back. I don't know, I might just slide it the whole way back. We shall see. But that sits right down in there. So let's see which decision I make. All right, so if I set these side by side, basically I want the top of this to match where that's set. So if you see it, I'm actually losing a ton of bottom end. So I think I'm gonna cut this straight down, which will give me my bottom end grunt that I want, because this thing has a lot more response down below with this turbo. You guys can see with the HE341, that thing responds very well down below, and I have no EGT problems. So probably just gonna get the grinder out and just follow that profile. All right, so you guys can kind of see what I want to eliminate. So like I said, this thing makes a lot of torque down below. So if I get rid of that, it will basically make it like the opposite of what you normally see with a 100, where it'll gradually shoot its way in and then go straight up. I think that's the route that I'm gonna go with it. So I'm gonna get the grinder out and I'm gonna chop that flush, and then we're gonna throw it in so that it just matches, which should put it, I think I'm gonna put it about 3/4 of the way back. All right, so there you go, that's where I'm gonna leave it. I just used the flap disc, kind of set it down on there and let it do its thing. You guys can see that that will gradually, rather than it being flat, it will give me a lot more low end and take away some of the top end. So that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go throw this thing in, like I said, about 3/4 of the way. So go. I did some precise measuring on that, so we'll be able to get a little bit better EGT control up top. I am having more EGT problems up top, so that's what we're gonna figure out now. All right, so not completely all the way back, like I said. We still have some room for improvement if needed, but it is in the exact spot on the top where it was before, which gives me, like I said, a lot more low end grunt. So it's about 3/4 of the way, I'd say. So I'm gonna get that tightened down, throw the AFC housing on. You can also take the AFC housing. I like to move mine forward so I get even more low end grunt, but that's how we're gonna do it. All right, that's all done. Now I wanna get the liners back in. All right, we got new hardware put in on here. I couldn't use these bolts that I really wanted to down here, so I used an OEM bolt on both sides. The reason I didn't put the flares on the back is because I do want to get the mega cab flares, but for what it is, we do got to fix this little bit of damage down here, but I think we're going to end up getting rid of them, like I said, mega cab flares. And then down here, for the people that complained that we put something together, that is an OEM drain and it still leaks. So probably, if you guys can see down here, there's a spot right there. We'll probably just drill something and then just put the drain right into there. I have parts on order. I'll show you what I got. All right, so you can see I have a fitting here to go on the turbo, and then I'll have a 45-degree angle to go down, and then a 45. These are all 3/4, I believe. I know this one at least is. And then this, you can put, yeah, 19mm 3/4. So you can put a nut on the backside and O-ring it. I think we're just gonna end up welding it so that I don't have to pull the pan. If I have to pull the pan, whatever, but that is basically what I got. Hopefully this is steel, because if this is steel, it's gonna get welded. All right, we're heading out. Go get the boy. Everything's together. We'll see how it does. It's definitely gonna leak, but that's not the big deal because parts should be here in a couple days. But in the meantime, I want to drive this thing. Yeah, I definitely miss the sound of this thing. Some mega cap flares for the back, and then we're going to start doing little bits of the body work here probably in the next month or so, and then start working on getting it painted. I do need to do the transmission fluids sometime before I leave, so we'll have 2 more things to do, and when we get there I'll show you the tailgate light. I just put a new tailgate light on it, LED, so that finally came today. But other than that, not too much to do. This thing's ready to go back to work. Feels just about the same with the 0 plate where I ground it down on the bottom. So we should have a little bit more bottom end than we did before, and the same amount of top end that we did before. So we'll try that out, see if the EGTs are fine when we're pulling. We'll move it all the way forward. If they're not, we'll pull it back a little bit. But it is the same exact spot on the top end where it was. So should definitely be feeling that low end. Yeah, it feels a little bit better. That was only like half, a little over half, somewhere around there. I probably just leave that where it's at. Gonna call this good. I'm gonna get to working on this on Friday or Saturday. Hey guys, we're back in the lawn ornament because something came today. I want to show you guys this. I was gonna start filming this Friday, but apparently this came early. So this is the bung that is gonna go in the pan. It is metal, or a magnet sticks to it. Hopefully we can weld this. So I'm gonna get this thing cleaned up. This says 19mm oil pan adapter, 45 degrees with, and it says no weld on it. So I'm gonna do some research on this, make sure that it's okay to weld, because if not, I could just, these would sandwich together, throw that in the pan, and then tighten it down. But I really don't wanna do that. I would much rather just weld it and know that it's gonna be permanent and know that it's not gonna leak, because I am sick of gaskets, but this is O-ring. So, I don't know that I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna see, hopefully the rest of this comes tomorrow, but if not, I'm just gonna use the OEM drain down into this with the hose that we already have. So that'll be sweet. Hopefully it doesn't leak. All right, so we are here at a buddy's shop. I got the flares already off. He's in there working. I'll do a little introduction for his channel too, because he's helping me out pretty good doing this. And I'm trying to keep his driveway clean with all the oil leaks. So, because this thing does leak a little bit. So we got this. I am thinking, you guys can see, it should sit like somewhere right about there, and then we can run that one up there straight down to it. And he's got a bunch of used motor oil with only 5,000 miles on it, so I think I'm gonna use some of that. But like I said, we got the side off. You can see brand new, leaking. So I'm not even gonna mess with that until we get the other part done. So might get this in the pan and then just cap this off and then use it later. But at least then we'll have it, because either way I'm gonna have to cap that one off. So
it is only because there's injectors in it, but I didn't.
It's hazing right now.
It's hazing at idle.
Your common rail smokes more than my 12 valve. That's a little blacker than my 12. My 12 valve won't even think of doing that.
Oh, really?
No, it doesn't.
No, I was gonna go bigger on injectors, and he told me flat out I didn't need to go bigger than 50s in this, because
you just on the stock turbo.
Yeah.
I mean, even stock fueling can be a bit much for the stock turbo. So there you go. It's rowdy enough. I mean, it's not like insane, but it's got torque. There we go. Let's see. That thing's, it's pretty rowdy. I remember what my 06 was like with just a tune.
Yeah.
And it was nuts. So this is driven to compete. I'll link his channel down below. Enough people say it. He needs to make more truck content.
Yeah, I can make more truck content.
Absolutely needs to make more truck content.
I try to vary it between American muscle, both modern and old school. Throw Euro in there.
I noticed some of that old school stuff has been what's blowing yours up.
Yep. And I'm a Euro guy. I love Volkswagens. If you're watching this and you don't know enough about Volkswagen Golf Rs, you really need to check the channel out, because that car is just ridiculous. You know, 430 horse all-wheel drive. Basically a all-wheel drive GTI. It just was never intended to make that kind of power, but man, does it move out. That's what the channel is. I'm how-tos. I do auto detailing. Put myself through college doing that.
Maybe if we can get him enough subscribers, he'll do a detail on my truck, because you guys know I need it.
It needs more than just a detail.
No, we won't tell him that. I haven't told anybody the plans with it yet. But.
Well, you know, if you follow through with your plans, I think it's going to be great. I like the taillights you put in.
I mean, it doesn't look like much, but it definitely.
Dude, that was like fucking awesome. That's the most awesome fucking hammer. That was great, dude.
What happened? All right, so we just got the oil drained. I made a mess on my hand, but I'm gonna start using buckets from now on because they are nice. So Now we're gonna start drilling holes. And that's about it. That was probably the worst decision that I had decided to do, because we're using a flux core welder, which I need to clean his welder up and everything. It's the old welder, I sold it to him. So we're using flux core instead of gas, and it's not the greatest thing in the world. I'm definitely not gonna show you guys, but I might take and try to clean it up later. But for now, it doesn't leak that I know of. I just sprayed a bunch of this down the hole to see if it would leak, but we do have a bung in the oil pan. So let's start getting this thing wrapped up, maybe throw some oil in it. I need to get some of the shavings out of the engine, so I'm gonna drain a little bit more oil. So that is pretty much gonna do it for this video. We got it was welded, and then I put a nice bead around it of JB Weld just to kind of like clean it up. I don't want to hear any shit for that, because it's actually not bad stuff at all. I spent last night, mixed a bunch of it up. So it came out pretty damn clean. Hopefully no leaks. I was able to get everything, but it was a little hot last night when I parked it, so it just didn't get the very top. I'm gonna drive it, see if it leaks at all, and hopefully no more issues with it. I do have a bunch of these on order. There's a 45 one that was supposed to be here, and then there's another fitting that is supposed to be here. I just haven't looked into it yet, but basically I want to take a push lock style like this, and that'll be my drain as opposed to using the OEM one, because I just put a brand new one on, and wouldn't you know it, the brand new OEM one with an O-ring gasket still leaks. Not very much, but it does still leak. It's leaking right through the center where you guys will see, like it'll be leaking like right through like this part right here. So not very much, but it's just enough. So I'm just going to use aftermarket lines from now on, and I would say if I don't finish it up today, it'll be finished up in the next 3 weeks, but it's not leaking anywhere near what it was before. So that's a plus. I want no leaks on this truck. I do want to make mention that I have a new fender on order, new tailgate on order, new bumper on order, new all the plastics on order, and mega cab flares on order. I am spending just about $1,500 to $2,000 to just on body panels alone to kind of raise the cost per mile, because I don't think it was high enough. So I kind of just want to do all that, and then we're getting this truck painted. People are going to be very surprised, because I don't think that I'm going black with the truck, but at the same time, it's going to have all new, like the bumper has a hole in it, the tailgate's rusted out, all that stuff's going to be new. This is literally going to be the cleanest third gen in the area, like no ifs, ands, or buts in general. I'm just going to put that out there, and I'm going to be cocky about it, because it is. I don't care. So, not to mention instrument cluster. I will do that eventually. Not going to do it now. I also need to spend, it's going to be another 12 or 13. No, it's probably going to be like $1,500. I do need to go get new tires. Probably going to do that also on this trip around. So for anybody saying that we're not making any money doing this, you crazy, because I'll be spending a lot of money to do things that, not because I have to, but because I want to, because that's just how it is. So also crypto's been doing very well. So like, I mean, I think I made $4,000 this week just sitting on my ass. So it's pretty decent. So for what it is, anybody complaining that I work on my truck a lot, it's content. I get paid for YouTube views, and it makes good content, and it separates my content from everybody else's. The channel grows. I make more money next month, yada, yada. So between crypto and YouTube, I mean, hell, here's an extra $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 extra a month on top of doing the transport. We're doing good. Anybody saying this isn't making money, just crawl back into your hole. So other than that, I can't wait. This is going to be a good next couple weeks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe, you know, do whatever you do. Gonna try. Let me know down below what you think can get some more views, because we killed it this month. 250-some thousand views. Also, don't forget to go check out Driven to Compete. Go subscribe to him. He helped me out. I keep offering to pay him. I'm like, dude, how much money you want for helping me out and this and that? And he doesn't want a dime for it. So it's like, one of these days I'm going to have to find a way to make it up to him, because he definitely helped me out, because this thing was pissing oil when I brought it to him. And then when we put the new bung in, it's like only a minor drip. So it's like huge difference. He definitely helped me out pretty good, and I appreciate the guy. So do me a favor, go subscribe to him, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, safe travels, don't do anything crazy like I do. See ya.